The DNA company 23andMe is under hot fire right now, and for multiple reasons. So, its stock shares are under $1 right now, and it has until November 4th to get those stock shares up to $1, or it's going to be delisted. And that's a big thing because any company that gets delisted, it's a downward spiral to be bankrupt. Now, CEO Ann Wojcicki, she wants to personally buy the company herself and make it private, but she ran it across her board members and they rejected it on the first proposal. Those board members have all quit, they've all resigned, and it's just one of a number of companies in recent times here in the last month or so where many CEOs have stepped down from companies. So there's a lot of happenings going on with multiple companies over the world right now, but the focus on the DNA company is that a lot of people's private DNA that they submitted willingly is at risk of being shared and disseminated. Now, right now, they have the policies state that you need a warrant to share people's sensitive DNA. And there's nothing stopping the police from getting a warrant, say, if you committed a crime or one of your family members did and they submitted DNA. Say your mom submitted DNA to 23andMe and say that you committed a crime. All they have to do is pull your mother's DNA, and that can be enough to implicate you as somebody who committed a crime where you would have left DNA evidence, whether it be blood or whatever it is, that you could be implicated if they obtain a warrant and go to 23andMe or whatever other DNA company. Other ones actually work with law agencies very freely to where they don't even need a warrant. So I know there was a big craze in years where people would submit their DNA to these companies, and I said from the start, I said it's not a good idea. I worried about them cloning us underground. You know me, I'm Mr. Conspiracy over here, but not even that. I know that in 2020, the United States military advised against its service members from consulting these companies, these DNA companies, because once that information gets out there, it's out there. You can't, it's not like a password. You can just change it. If it leaks, you can change your password and your account is secure. So that's very compromising for the United States military if their service members happen to use companies such as 23andMe and submitted their DNA willingly, because, like I said, it could put these people at risk somehow and compromise them. Now, just stay tuned because there's a lot coming up here, and like I said, by November 4th, if that company does not get its shares back up to $1, then it's going to be delisted. So if you have submitted your DNA to this company or any of them, just be careful. I know I didn't have a choice when I joined the military, the United States Army. When you're in basic training, they collect your blood. And I remember it very vividly to this day. I wanted to refuse it. They said you didn't have a choice. They said you have to do it or you're not going to be able to serve. And I said, what happens to it? And they said, well, they send it to an Air Force base in Texas. And I said, what happens to it there? And they said, well, they just store it. And I said, could I request to have it destroyed? And they said, well, you would have to show up in person to that Air Force base in Texas, and even then, they're not going to destroy it. It doesn't matter what you do. They're always going to have your DNA on file. So the military might tell its service members not to give their DNA to outside and external agencies, but just know that everybody who's been in the military, no matter what branch you're in, they've got your DNA, and they're never, ever going to release it. So you got to be careful. I mean, you just don't know who you can trust in this world anymore or what they're going to use it for.